The Donghua begins with a man and his daughter, Jiang, driving their truck into some docks. On the radio we hear about the Optimum administration. They are in their second year of being in charge of China since the old regime collapsed due to so-called geological catastrophes. They park their truck up and approach three men. One of them confronts the father and daughter about their steep 20,000 price tag, but the man insists he is the cheapest of the truck drivers, saying that it's not easy for refugee drivers since they have to deal with the risk of getting caught and beaten up. The man pays no notice and calls these things excuses, explaining that he only makes 8,000 a month, so they walk off, which makes him change his tune and offer them 18,000 for their service. He acknowledges the offer and accepts it, telling him that he will have to pay 9,000 up front. They start loading the truck with the container and the father checks to see if his sword is still in the vehicle before receiving the first payment. The guy jokingly asks if Jiang dropped out of school and her response is that she crippled an opti, which makes him chuckle. Once they're ready to go, they drive off out of the docks across the sea and through the mountains. Whilst looking out of the window, Jiang notices some thugs beating some people up, but by the look on her face this is a normal occurrence. Whilst this happens, the leader of the Optimum says on the radio that everyone who doesn't listen to his speech will be arrested or shot. She looks at her map and mentions that about 20 kilometers ahead is a road with bandits on it. He tells her to take it easy, and it's established that she has a hot temper. She picked it up from her father, who used to be in the special forces. She justifies what she did to the opti by saying that they touched her inappropriately. He pulls up at a gas station and pays for some gas as well as a spare tire, catching the attention of some guys who are hanging out there. Jiang isn't happy about the fact that they have already spent $56 as they drive off. The day slowly turns into night, and they have to come to a sudden halt due to there being fences blocking off the road, having probably been through the process countless times before. He steps out and asks what the bandits want. They are all armed, and after some contemplation they ask for 10,000. Jiang overhears this and gets out of the truck, grabbing the sword from the driver's seat and approaching the gang, who are aggravated due to his lowball counter of 1,000. She kicks the leader and holds the sword to his throat, so the man takes control of the situation, explaining that someone will get hurt if they don't just accept the offer. He adds 500 onto it since the main guy did get kicked. They accept, so he gives them the money, and then the pair of them head back to the truck. She is confused as to why he still paid them, but he explains that it's a smart long-term decision since they use the roads every day. They have to take part in a routine security check where some security guards check what they're transporting, calling them rich since they have so much rice, and then clearing them to go through, so they drive onward. Their journey continues throughout the night as they take turns driving and sleeping. But once day falls, they have to come to another stop because of the security check at the harbor. Suspense builds as they wait for the result of the weight scanner. They're not so lucky this time since the weight scanner detects that their vehicle is overloaded. He pleads with the security guards that it's not overloaded, but they insist that he gets out of the truck and hand them the keys. He steps out and is told that the fine for having an overloaded truck is 10,000, which is way too much money, especially considering they've already spent nearly 5,000. Jiang notices that the toll price is also 5,000 and is mocked for pointing it out. Chaos commences as one of the security guards looks inside of the truck and finds the sword that was hidden. They threaten him with it and guns, whilst another one of the guards prevents Jiang from getting close to her father. She continues to try to get past before getting slapped in the face. This causes her father's anger to rise and he starts pushing them away. Despite not doing anything wrong or illegal, he is shot in the head and falls to the floor lifelessly. Jiang hears this gunshot and is in shock when she sees her father's dead body. Her head is slammed to the ground by one of the guards as she is forced to stare at her dad. We see her in an orange jumpsuit with shorter hair as she has her mugshot taken. The guards escort her down the prison wing, where we see the people in the cells are all men. Her cellmate sees that she is a woman and instantly goes to approach her, but she kicks him away. This type of behavior continues as we see her getting beaten up as well as her beating up other people, presumably because of the gender difference. The guards also beat her up and she finds herself in solitary confinement a lot because of all of the fights. We see the pain in her eyes, not just because of how hard she has to fight all the time, but also because the memory of her father being killed hasn't left her mind even after many years. She takes part in a fight in the dining room which catches the guards' attention, as well as a fight in the showers and in the yard where she beats a man repeatedly with a baton. The same process of fighting, getting hurt, and put in solitary repeats itself because of her hot temper which her father mentioned. We see that she has been in there for a long time since her hair is long. She has a stroke of luck finally as she has an opportunity to be released. During her interview she gives all the right answers, saying that she won't get into fights, but her face tells a different story. The person interviewing her asks if she knows how many fights she got into in prison, and then reveals that she hurt at least 75 people, but Jiang says that they hurt her more than she hurt them. We find out that she got 3 years for having the sword in the truck but was given an extra 5 years due to all the fights she was getting into. She is warned that if it continues she will stay in prison. Jiang says that she is sorry, and the interviewer tells her that things are so bad because she always has to fight back rather than let things go, which is something her dad taught her about, that it's better to let small things go since it'll benefit her in the long run. Despite the lecture, the interviewer tells Jiang that she is sympathetic for her and stamps her document, approving her release from prison. There is a beautiful sunset and a city which is something that she hasn't seen in a long time, so as Jiang roams the street, it's clear that a lot of the things around her are foreign to her. She notices a father with her daughter which reminds her of her dad, who is still always on her mind. She even kept the key to the truck. Seeing this friendly interaction between the girl and her dad made her upset, so she continues walking, finding a restaurant where she eats some food. She approaches the man cooking the food, explaining that she has been in prison for a long time and doesn't have any money, so she wants a job there. Despite his sympathy for her and other wrongly imprisoned refugees, he tells her that he isn't allowed to employ an ex-convict. Her hope is renewed, however, when he passes her a card and tells her to go and see someone called Sun Dahai in a place called the Chamber of Commerce. She sits in an alleyway since she is homeless and has nowhere to go, but remains hopeful that tomorrow will be a good day. But that's where this video ends. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.